You know what I was thinking? I was thinking it was pretty funny a second ago. I was thinking like how a bulldog has the same kind of uh, lower jaw structure to a degree, or that underbite as like a fish, and how a bulldog and a damn fish, how they close it, how a bulldog and a fish close its mouth. You know what I'm saying? It is the same way. It's the same way that little babies close their mouth when they be like, with that killer underbite, man. That's what I was thinking about a second ago. Um, but another thing I was thinking about is like, if we talk about an atom being like the smallest building block, all right, or what should I say? It's supposed to be the smallest building block or the most basic unit, I suppose, of I don't know, some type of molecular structures, so to speak, or whatever the case may be. I'm not like super deep into science like that, but you know, like if you split an atom using this 17-mile radius structure, okay, that's huge, okay, to cause atoms to collide together. You see what I'm saying? Like this is this is some supernatural type of technology. This is something that I would never assume that, if you get magnets that large, I suppose, would cause an insane magnetic force that it would cause, um, potentially for doors to open. Because if there's matter, when we talk about antimatter, then antimatter um, couldn't be any more anti to matter than matter is. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really have a anti matter unless, I suppose, we are talking about the introduction of some negatively charged, uh, I don't know, particle of some sort coming from somewhere else, which would indicate a door, some different type of, whatever you call this molecular structure. It would be more of an introduction of this thing rather than um, anything else. I mean, let's think about it. Like, I don't necessarily see, even out of the technology, how they would be able to collide something such as an atom. You know what I'm saying? Or if you have nanites or nanoparticulates, how in the world would you be able to repair nanites that maybe for some reason break down or become messed up in some type of way, or maybe if there's some type of malfunction? When we're talking about programmable matter, so on and so forth. So when we talk about, if the atom is the smallest building block and you could take a structure and collide atoms together, I mean, we would have to understand whether, there's some theories that suggest that tachyons are real, uh, but that's just a theory. We don't know for sure if tachyons are real or not. But I don't know why they act like the atom is the smallest building block, and then at the same time they will talk about subatomic particles. So if you collide, if you if you collide atoms together, wouldn't it just create subatomic particles versus it creating some form of antimatter, which really you can't have an anti. You can't have, if matter is a thing, you can't have an anti thing. Yeah, in which we are talking about a negative space or a doorway. All right, which would be the introduction. If then we have a so-called quote unquote antimatter, it would have to be a different type of matter that is coming from somewhere else, which would indicate a door also, or a doorway. Okay, if that makes any sense. But I mean, if there are subatomic particles, I suppose a tachyon would be one of those. But this is completely speculatory, or it's not speculatory. They have theories on it, Okay, but I mean, fundamentally, if you collide atoms together, you would get subatomic particles. That's what would happen. You wouldn't get a doorway. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't necessarily get a doorway. It wouldn't necessarily, um, you know, rip a space and time. I mean, consider it, space is like a this three-dimensional reality is like an epidermis, which if you were able to pierce through this epidermis in some type of way, it would expose a dermis or another realm or a deeper layer of reality in which all things are for pretty much the same, but also different pertaining to that reality. This would, connotate that reality is with all possibilities and probabilities pertaining to layers. Okay, layers of reality. All right, but I gotta say the antimatter theory is something that's very interesting to me, and I'm not sure if I could completely go along with that. I mean, it's just at a fundamental level, it seems that it is um, lacking some things. All right. So I know during their science experiments, there was something that was rumored that they lost mom, which was a scientist that got sucked through that portal. And, mom, the logo beneath the Wendy's logo and the alphanumeric on your phone is mom 666, which correlates with the earth. All right. As human beings are comprised out of carbonite. All right. And I know that I got ripped through a vortex or whatever. And I know that the world was, in a dimension was put inside me along with the day star. All right. So I would say with that situation, uh, you know, pertaining to Adam and Adam pertaining to uh man and being comprised of carbonite, um, his second estate after taking of the fruit, all right, in the garden, was that his ways of thinking changed and therefore his reality changed as all issues of life come out of the heart, right? So therein, the knowledge we have is the evil we perceive, and that is that which we are tempted with and struggle by. That the tearing apart of the atom or the man would be the obliteration of oneself. All right. If CERN hypothetically was real within a specified layer of reality, which would change the scape of realities that in my world, I have many individuals that seem like they are uh, tranced out, right? Or what should I say? Spiritually dead, so to speak. All right. This would be that these individuals became organic portals or defiled individuals, and that their spirit or soul went one place while their body remained on earth and continued to live. All right. And some of these things get into dynamics of which I said I came before earth, which I'm not going to get into this because I don't want to perplex anybody's mind. The Bible is real, man. Believe in it. I've gone through struggles with my faith on this walk. And I think that this negative zone that we co-inhabit or exist within is attracted to energy or life energy, and that's the Holy Spirit. As people were attracted to Christ in Genesis, Adam, when he had the Holy Spirit, all manner of life, creatures, animals, so on and so forth, came up to Adam in which he could name them. All right. Such is the same in this world or in this age of Sardis where people are defiled or spiritually dead, that which is in them is drawn, all right, to the spirit of life or energy, so to speak, or the vibe that you have, all right, if you're going through this day and time. Peace and blessings be with you all. This would connotate targeting on I suppose, somewhat of a scientific and spiritual level, a quantum description of such. But it is as if we're walking through the negative space. Peace and blessings be with you all. I'm out.